Night in. The ladies are in the building.
Woo!
Yes, it is our special Mother's Day edition. So, to all the mothers out there, we want to say Happy Mother's Day before we get started, but we'll get back to that at the end. So, I'm here with the ladies, and we have a good show tonight, and they don't know what's going on with our question of the evening, but we're going to get to that in a minute. We're going to get to that in a minute. So, our question today, let me go around the room and just introduce the ladies really quickly so you know who we are and who you're dealing with. So I'm gonna go to my right. We're just gonna have the ladies introduce themselves.
Hi, I'm Jade. Hi, everybody. What's up? I miss y'all. And thanks, because I know you're going to say Happy Mother's Day to me. Peace.
Oh.
Appreciate it.
Hi, it's KECIA. Hi, it's Tonka. Happy Mother's Day to everybody. Hi, everybody. It's Kim. I'm the mom of two. Happy Mother's Day.
And we're gonna get right to it. And my child happened to come up here. Turn that down. Yes, so we're gonna get right into it. So ladies, this is our question from our viewer on YouTube. She wanted to know about this topic, and this one is very, very deep. But first, let's get in the news really quickly. So we all know that Jamie Foxx is going through something. We don't know what it is, but we had some sketchy reports about him, and they're preparing for the worst. And his daughter came on and said that he's fine, he's at home. He was playing pickleball the other day, which I don't know if that's true, but I'm gonna keep that to myself because I don't want to be like the rest of the judgmental people. So I'm gonna just say we're gonna pray for Jamie Foxx. We hope that he's well. But then let's talk about the brat. I'm gonna go around the room with y'all on this one. The brat is pregnant, and she's married to her wife. I was just saying, and turn that down.
Happy Mother's Day, Trey.
Thank you. The show must go on, right? So the brat is pregnant, and they had a sperm donor. And they said that the percentage of sperm donors in black men is so much lower than the sperm donors in white men. So she made a joke that the only sperm donor that they saw that was black looked like Jiminy Cricket. So they went with a white sperm donor. So let's talk about that a little bit, because my take on this was, I will be more concerned with, is it going to be a serial killer, or I don't know too many black serial killers. But anyway, we're not even going to go there. But my concern would be the DNA of the person rather than what the person looks like. So what do you think about her getting a white sperm donor, because the only sperm donor that they saw looked like Jiminy Cricket?
It's personal, I guess, for them. I think that they made the best choice for themselves. And who knows what that list looked like, versus who they chose versus who they had to choose. I would probably look at the list with my own people. But if I saw things that I didn't want, and I saw things that I didn't want in the other side of the world, then I would do what was best for me. So.
But it was based on looks. They said the person looked like Jiminy Cricket. So do you care what your child looks like?
Yeah, I care what my child looked like, because the whole time I was pregnant with both my children, I was praying, God, don't let my children be ugly. I don't want nobody picking on my kid. I ain't gonna lie, I did. I was like, don't let them be ugly, let them be healthy, Lord Father God, please. Because somebody pick on my child, I'm gonna have to kill somebody. So, looks matters to me. Because when you having a child and you having a child with the person you're with, don't you care about the person you're with and how they look? You attracted to the person, right?
Of course, but that's not
personal choice.
right.
So it's personal for them.
But somebody who's ugly to you may not be ugly to me.
Right.
Right. So they chose. That's what they thought. It
is their choice. I thought it was a little harsh for her to say he looked like Jiminy Cricket. I didn't like that.
Right.
I have no problem with them choosing someone white. Me coming from a mixed family, of course I wouldn't have a problem with that. And I wouldn't put it so much on looks. When we're pregnant, we have no idea how our kid is going to look.
Exactly.
So
that's two very beautiful
just
people
the
that
chance you take, right? And I wouldn't have been so concerned at his looks, because it is mixed with okay, when you do a sperm donor, it's your egg, right?
Right.
So it will have your genes too. So I mean,
Right.
how ugly could it have been? I just didn't like that remark. I mean, because the brat and her wife are gorgeous to me, both of them. I just didn't like that remark. My opinion, I wouldn't have said that. But I have no problem with their choice.
Right.
I pray they have a healthy baby.
That's it right there. That's the problem. Tonka.
Ditto. I pray they have a healthy baby too. I have no idea what this whole sperm donation thing, how it works is. Thank God I never had to go that route. But sometimes you got some of the ugliest people that have the prettiest babies.
Yes.
I know a few couples. So it's all in the lineage of the DNA. Again, I just, like Keisha said, pray that they have a healthy baby. And I'm happy for them, regardless of what the race is.
Right.
That's
Some
my two
people were
cents.
saying, thank you. Some people were saying they just wanted the baby with pretty hair and light skin. So, Kim,
That's not.
I mean, it's not guaranteed, and I agree with Keisha and Tonka, but I also agree with Jade that it's a personal choice. But I would be more concerned with what kind of illnesses or
Right.
diseases could this child inherit from that genetic
gene
side.
pool, yes.
Right. What are the diseases that are more prevalent in that person's family?
Right.
That would be my main concern,
Right.
not necessarily the looks. Does everyone want to have beautiful children? Yes, but beauty is also in the eye of the beholder.
Thank you.
So
Because, I really think sometimes when I see children that, or maybe somebody thinks my kids are ugly. Of course I don't, because they're my kids. No matter what, my kids are cute, and I hope they really are. But no, seriously, like you see other people's kids, and we all have our opinion. We're not going to call anybody's kids ugly, or we're not going to say we've seen ugly kids before. But I'm sure that parent does not think that my child is ugly or my child looks strange or weird or whatever. And again, for me, it was more of you're not concerned that the child might be a serial killer, or you're not concerned that the child might be sick, or the child might, DNA is real. So I would really be looking at more of on that chart of even if he looked like Jiminy Cricket, is he a doctor? What is his background? What has his family produced,
Right.
and all of that, rather than
Trey, let me ask you a question. When that comment was made, was it that they made the comment basically saying that was the only reason why they didn't choose that? Oh, because he looked like
Jiminy Cricket,
They didn't
yeah.
look at any. It was like, oh no, he
Well,
looked.
they
so
didn't say
even
all of
bother
that.
with
They didn't
all the-
say all of that. The comment that was made, it was a joke. It was on the show that the reason why they didn't pick the black donors because he looked like Jiminy Cricket. So they didn't really go into it. But she was on Tamron Hall, and she was saying how it was a joke between her and their doctor. They joke like that sometimes, and they didn't mean to offend anybody. But you let that go on the show because you thought that was going to be funny, and that's not funny to anybody.
And I think they said
Hold on,
he
hold
was
on.
the only. If I read the article right, I think they said he was the only black choice out of the group that they chose. Like, I guess they put what they wanted, and he was the only black choice, and the others were all white. I don't know how true it is or not, but still, I wouldn't have called him Jiminy Cricket though.
Yes, that was,
Not in
Well,
public.
does he look like Jiminy Cricket?
if he
we
did,
don't know.
But again, some stuff is better left unsaid
Unsaid,
or just
right.
said between us. Like, we talk about stuff. Like, we all, as girlfriends. I'm not going to say we sit around and gossip or whatever, but we say stuff sometimes when we see something online. We might be like, oh, she don't have no friends. Who let her go out the house like that? But some stuff should not be said publicly. It should be
I agree
said
with
privately. Even if it's a joke, some stuff
Right.
will hurt somebody's feelings. Oh, let's talk about this real quick. The bus driver. Did y'all what was her name? Ebony K. Williams and Ayanna did an interview, and Ebony K. Williams said Ayanna asked her, "Would you date a bus driver?"
Oh,
And Ebony K. Williams said, "If he owned the bus."
right.
So then she went on after everybody online was up in arms about her saying that about a bus driver. She said, she went up to defend herself and said, You know, I wouldn't date a bus driver because, you know, for reasons of like a bus driver is less than. Like, they can't, whatever. And it was offensive to blue collar workers as far as their social status. And then she said she made all these remarks like they weren't smart. Like, oh, you know, I can't help it if a man's mother was okay with him bringing home C's and D's. So she made all these remarks, and Ayanla was simply saying that you could work with a bus driver to become more. Maybe he will own the bus company, but my problem with that was it wasn't that she wouldn't date a bus driver, because that's her preference. Like, she doesn't have to date a man that's not in her tax bracket. I understand that. But the way that she made it sound like bus drivers were not intelligent, like bus drivers, there are plenty of blue collar workers, bus drivers, police officers at a certain status that have put their children through school, have put their children through college. And she said that her mother was a bus driver. So you sitting up here on this platform where your mother was a bus driver that made a salary that is not great as yours to get you through college. Your mother got you through college. So you're insulting a whole class of people. And then she stood on it, and she was not apologizing. Not to apologize that she would not date a bus driver, but the remarks that she made about blue collar workers at that level. How do y'all feel about that? I'll go to you first, Kim. Would you date a bus driver?
No.
Why?
I want someone who wants. I have glitter on my lip.
I'm sorry. I can't let my, that's like she ain't got no friends.
Clearly, I have friends.
Because I'm not going to do that.
I want someone who can come home from work and talk to me about things deeper than, let me tell you what this passenger said today. That's just my preference. Do I think bus drivers are unintelligent? Absolutely not. There are people who are in prison who are intelligent and creative and talented. So their station in life does not really equal or define their level of intelligence. But for me, I just want someone of a higher tax bracket, a higher income level, because I like expensive things.
Oh.
That's just me.
But who's to say the bus driver can't get it?
That's
No.
how she feels.
Yeah, but we all know a bus driver's income is limited. They're not going to make $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 a year. Bus drivers don't make that kind of money, just like teachers don't make that kind of money.
So you wouldn't date a teacher?
No.
Okay. I'm just asking. I mean, I'm
No.
seriously like asking, you wouldn't date a teacher based on their salary, not their intellect.
Right.
Okay, so that's fair. That's fair.
Because I have attained a salary level that I want someone who's equal to me,
Okay.
whose income is equal to mine,
Tom,
at least.
Hey.
would you date a bus driver?
You know, I would say no and yes and no. I think it's a personal preference, but at this point in my life, I have a certain set of standards that I've elevated myself to. So I'm not going to settle for less than anything that I don't have. Not to say that bus drivers are unintelligent, not to say that they're not holding their own, not to say that they're building a pension, or they might have more money than any of us sitting here, who knows. But I just have a certain level. However, the flip side to that is, we could all sit here and say, no, we won't do this and that, but you don't know when Cupid strikes that arrow struck in your heart might just be something totally different. I'm just saying, you know, you never know who your heart's gonna fall for too, bus driver or not. But that's not to say that they can't have like goals or something. All right, if we're a bus driver, you have all this experience, what about starting your own company, or let's start our own bus company? That's, you know, if Cupid strikes that arrow. You just never know how you're going to feel about a person when you meet a person. So I'm not sure if I would or not. Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah, that's my 2 cents.
KECIA.
Those are my sisters and I love them, but I think they're being a little judgmental.
Go ahead, sis. Uh-oh.
Excuse me?
Uh-oh.
I would date a bus driver. I don't care. If I'm vibing with somebody and they turn out to be a decent guy, I don't care what his career is.
Right.
But he got to be working.
Right.
I'm a legal secretary. Would somebody date me?
Oh.
I don't make six figures. Like, that's how I feel. I mean, to each his own. They have higher standards than me, I guess.
No, they don't have higher standards. They have higher salary standards than you. Because I think it was based on money.
Well, then I need to be borrowing money from my sisters over here.
No, let me clear something up. I'm not being judgmental because, like I said, we never know who we could fall for, you know. And it's, for me, it's not totally about the money because it's peace of mind. You could have a bus driver and he could treat you better than a guy making six figures. You know, it's about how you come together. If you're yoked together, whether you're a bus driver, whether he's a garbage man, or whether he's on Wall Street in the financial district. So I'm not being judgmental, sister.
Oh.
I love you.
Miss Jade, would you date
You
a
know, I was
bus
about to
driver?
pull out some popcorn because it was getting, it was cute. I was over here like, back and forth, like, okay. So wait,
Would you
what
date a
is the
bus driver?
question? Because the question I don't think started out as being us dating a bus
No,
driver.
would you date a bus driver? The problem was that Ebony K. Williams really said some things about middle class people. It wasn't that she would not date a bus driver, it was that she put those people down and said that they were not basically on her level, education wise, financial wise, that they were less. The way she made it seem was like that she was saying they were less than.
Okay, so Ebony, you need to have a conversation with my best friend over there because she just said the same thing, just in a nicer way. More like how she really felt without putting other people down. Because we all have the right to an opinion of what we want and how we want it. And we don't all have the same thought process or how we look at a guy. Like every last one of us here have dated or been married or had guys, and none of us like each other's men.
Right.
We all have our own way of who we like and how we like them or whatever. So she stated her own personal opinion without putting anyone down. So I just think that Ebony should have been more intelligent enough to say, I just like what I like.
Right. Would
I date a
driver?
bus driver? Yeah. Because sometimes you don't always meet people and you know exactly what they're making or whatever. Sometimes you just click and vibe, and some of these bus drivers could be a retired officer and they just don't want to be home and don't have anything else to do, and they have this money sitting around, but they want to drive the bus, and because it makes them happy and they want to be around other people. Like, you don't know, what somebody's financial status really is or status, or they may have nothing and give you everything. So, I would, if he was nice to me and if he was kind to me and he wasn't digging in my pockets, because
That's right. That's what
I don't mind helping, because again, help me is, we've talked about that before. So I would if I was attracted to him and if he was nice and it made sense. But yeah, so Ebony, holla at your girl.
I would definitely date a bus driver. I seriously would. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Like, when I used to ride the bus when I was younger, there was a bus driver that was on my regular route that made everybody's day. He loved this man really, really loved his job. When I was going to high school, everybody knew him. He loved it. I don't know if he had to be there, but he didn't make me feel like he had to be there. He made me feel like he liked this job. It was a career for him. It made him feel good to make everybody else feel good. So, so I would date a bus driver because you never know, like, bus drivers have benefits, they have pension. And again, for me, we live in a society where we say we want black men to be protectors and providers, but when they become protectors and providers, we move the goalposts. Now the providing that you're giving is not good enough. I know bus drivers that own homes. Like, I know bus drivers that have great credit, that own nice houses because they have credit and they can maintain a mortgage and that household. For me, like I said in a video before, and people were mad at me, I said the man that I marry has to pay all the bills in the house. he has to be able to maintain a house. I'm not saying he has to have a mansion, but he has to be able to maintain a home at the level of his salary. So if I met a bus driver and he had a 2-bedroom home, 2-bathroom, and I said, if I have to kick him because I want 4 bedrooms and 4 bathrooms, I saw her look at me, the grammar Nazi, because I said bathrooms because I'm from the hood, but she looked at me, so I caught myself in this bathrooms. Right? Y'all know her. They all know her. And she got her glasses on today too. I'm not messing with her. I'm not messing with her. You better say it right, spell it right, and do not.
Get it right, speak it right.
Trust me, do not. So I would date a bus driver, like I said, based on the fact that he can maintain, sustain a home on his own, like you said, and he ain't digging in my pockets, and he's a nice guy, and he loves his family. So I definitely would date a bus driver. I don't think it's anything. I'm not, and she says the things that she says, she belittled people. You didn't. She really belittled a class of people. And just because a person doesn't have letters behind their names doesn't mean that they're not intelligent. Just because a person didn't go to college doesn't mean they're not smart. Because we need plumbers, we need electricians. So some people don't like school. Some people want to trade. So we got to think about those things. So let's get on with this and go on to the next thing. We're going to talk about some more in the news, but we really got into that because some of us, we just want a good man with some good. I'm just saying, and to marry us and to make us out into honest women. Yes, well, I do anyway. I'm not. That's just my thing. But this is from our viewer. She said, my man has a problem with my best male friend. Now listen, my best male friend, he would like me to put some distance between him and myself. He says my best male friend, okay, his complaints are we're always on the phone. He calls late nights. He's single, always calls me with his problems, doesn't spend any time with both of them. They have him and the boyfriend have no relationship, based on the fact that him and her have been friends for a long time. So they never formed a relationship, the two guys. They've been together for 3 years and he's ready to get engaged, but won't move forward if I don't set these boundaries. He says then he knows I've made my choice and I'm putting him first. And if he's that important, go be with him.
Oh, all right, let's talk, baby.
Okay, let's get over here to Jade.
Let's talk.
So what do you think? Do you think he should get engaged to her?
They have talking to do. I think that she should listen to him if that's what she wants. If she wants to be with him, I feel like you should set boundaries. I think he's right about that. You should absolutely set boundaries, because if the shoe was on the other foot and he was constantly talking to a woman, would you be okay with that? And you need to incorporate your best friend with your man a little bit more so that he's comfortable, because you don't want to be made to feel uncomfortable. Men can make you feel very uncomfortable, sweetheart. So I don't know who you are, but I think you need to definitely listen to him and set those boundaries.
Oh, wait, it's a part. It says, I didn't read that part. He says, they have no relationship based on the fact my friend never cared for him. So they never really formed their own relationship.
So because I'm sitting here with my friends, right? And their job is to always tell me the truth, right? And my job is to take what they tell me and then make a decision based off of how they know me, my situation. Because I'm only giving them my perspective of the situation, right? So you're giving your best friend whatever the perspective of your situation is.
Ooh.
So with that being said, either your best friend sees something and you need to take heed to it, or you're not setting boundaries and you're just letting this relationship with your best friend suffocate the relationship that you're in, and you need to take a step back and look at it. So that, I don't know what else to tell you. If you want to be married to this man, but then you need to listen to what he's saying, and you need to set boundaries. Not get rid of your best friend, but you need to set them boundaries and check your friend and put them in a perspective. Like, this is my husband to be, and this is what it is. We're going to always be friends, but to a certain extent, because now you're going to become one, and it's God, spouse, and then everything else. So set the boundaries or leave them alone.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
It decided to go that way. Sorry, Keisha. Come on, stop. There we go.
I agree with Jade. Boundaries definitely need to be set. And if he is a true best friend, he will understand that, and you may not have to lose him. But I do think the three of you need to get along. I'm not saying him and your husband to be need to be besties,
Right.
but they need to get along and be around each other sometimes. And hopefully, if he's a true best friend, he will understand that and still be there for you. But definitely, if you want to marry this man and keep him, you got to listen to him and set boundaries. Because I would want it that way for me.
Yeah.
I
late
mean-
night-
Absolutely.
Late night calling.
Yeah, no, late night
No.
calling, that stops. You
Because do
could
you
talk
let
to
your girls
me.
call you late night?
No. I
Right.
mean, no. And I don't want somebody calling my man late at night,
Okay.
friend or not, unless it's his mother, something's wrong. Yeah, I wouldn't do it.
Right.
I also,
Oops,
sorry.
sorry.
I also would not let him run my best friend away just because he's jealous and can't. That I did do that early on in my life. I had a best male friend, but the current boyfriend I got did not like it, and I treated my best friend wrong, and because I wanted to please my boyfriend at that time.
Right. Do you regret it?
And I do regret that
Oh.
because we were really friends. There was never nothing further than that. And I let my boyfriend let me chase him away.
Wow.
Yeah, I'll never let that happen again, though.
Oh, okay.
I don't have a side with that. What boyfriend? What best friend?
Uh-oh.
I'm just
We
kidding.
gonna talk about her later. She said-
Don't we all love the word boundaries? Well, my question is, I think you said, Trey, that she said her fiance, I guess
He
he
wants to get engaged.
Okay,
He wants to
so
move to
her
the next
boyfriend-
level. Yes.
and her best friend, they never formed a
Because
bond.
he never cared for her man.
Okay, so my question is, why did he never care for them? Like, how did he come into the relationship when she first started dating
I
the
don't have that
boyfriend?
much information.
That's well,
Right.
I know that's my question, because for him not caring for him based on what he sees her relationship is with him without even getting to know him.
Right.
For me, that's a question.
Right.
For two, I agree with the ladies also. There does need to be some boundaries set, and she needs to respect her boyfriend, soon to be fiance, and the best friend. This is all my opinion. Needs to respect that as well, because like I think Jade said and Keisha, turn the tables. Because we know as women, if it was a female calling your boyfriend, soon to be fiance, late night hours, you would definitely be uncomfortable with it. I don't believe you wouldn't be. So there definitely has to be some boundaries. But I'm also wondering how instrumental she was in the relationship with her boyfriend and best friend from day one, and what perspective did he just make that decision on that he didn't really care for him in the beginning. So again, that's just my 2 cents.
Kim.
Well, I do have a male best friend,
Talk about that.
and he and we've talked about what happens when we're each in our different relationships. He's married now, and as soon as he got married, I stepped back. He didn't even have to ask. We didn't
Come
have to
on.
have a conversation about it.
I love
I
that.
You know to do
fell
that.
back.
I love that.
Right. We talk once every couple of months. I've seen him, I can count on one hand the number of times I've seen him in the past 15 years.
Wow.
Because he lives out of state. I don't try to go visit him. I don't try to interrupt his life. I don't try to disrespect his wife. But when we do catch up, it's like we just talked yesterday.
Right.
And I would expect that same respect and those same boundaries from him if I were in a relationship. I'm single.
Tell it like
Does,
it
But-
does his wife
His wife, that's another reason why I step back. His wife is uncomfortable. His wife knows that he and I are friends,
Right.
but she's uncomfortable with our friendship.
Right.
But I don't call him late at night. Like I said, I talk to him once every few months, if that. I would never call his house because I know she's uncomfortable with it. I might text him during the day, during working hours.
Right.
Right?
Right.
I'm not going to text him when I know he's with his family. I've met her a few times. She knows who I am. We're cordial. We speak. I'll say hello to her. I don't ever disrespect her. I don't try to like hang all over him or anything like that. Because I don't want him.
Right.
We're friends, and that's it.
Right. Yeah.
We've never been intimate and never will be.
Do you think that he should move on with the engagement?
I think that he needs to have a conversation with his girlfriend and let her know this is exactly what's holding me back. I think the three of them need to sit down together and have a conversation, and he needs to talk to the best friend, probably without her. They need to have a separate conversation, man to man, and just hash it out. Like,
Right.
Listen, I'm in her life now. I know y'all are best friends, but her situation has changed.
She's my best friend now.
Right. So now that changes your situation
dynamic.
with her.
Right.
I understand. I don't mean. I know you. I understand what you're saying, and I agree. But sometimes, like, that's their relationship. Like, if me and my dude has been together, we live together, we doing what we're doing, and he's telling me these things, I need to take ownership of that. I need to take ownership of what we spoke of and what I'm going to do with that. And just like you said, you have a male best friend, even if you have a female best friend. When my female friends are in relationships with their guys, I step back.
Right.
Because I know to do that because I love my friend.
Right.
So if you truly love your friend, you will automatically step back. It's not even a conversation that you had. I've never had it. Sometimes Kim and I won't speak for a while, not because sometimes we're busy. If she's in a relationship or I've been in a relationship, it's like when we catch up, we catch up. But so I just feel like she needs to take ownership of this situation because that's her relationship with the best friend or without the best friend. Either she's going to keep this best friend and her best friend's going to love her through her relationship, or she's going to lose her man. It's either going to be, so she needs to take ownership of the situation and just make a decision because she has to make a decision.
Yes.
So either she's going to win or she's going to have a win-win or she's going to win-loss.
Right.
And she has to be okay with whatever that decision, but she needs to take ownership of it. Definitely.
I
Yeah.
I agree with all of that.
Yeah.
Because she does. Because she's the one in the middle.
Right.
But I still think that
Yeah.
the two men need to speak man to man.
Yeah.
Right.
Because if he moves forward with this engagement and they get married and that best friend remains in this woman's life, they're always going to
Have
be
conflict.
Right.
Right.
They're always going to be
Meetups
in the
and-
same
yeah, just-
right. I'm sure she's going to invite this man to their wedding.
Right.
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 You know?
Oh no. Oh, see, that's already a problem. But
Right. But that's why they need to talk.
Yeah.
So they don't have to be besties like Tonka said,
Yeah.
but they need to have an understanding.
yes.
And they need to have some kind of relationship where they can at least be cordial to
Yeah,
each
they need to have an
other.
understanding. Yeah.
So yeah,
I agree
I
with
think
that.
that's what they need to do.
I feel like it's a problem already because when you are going to be somebody's husband or somebody's wife, you guys are the two principles that are important. And if anybody could come between that, like he said, if you can't set these boundaries, then you've made your choice. Go be with him. If I'm in a relationship with a man and we are going to be married, I'm not talking about we just date and whatever. If we're going to the next level and there's other people in the relationship, if you can't put me before everybody, and I'm talking about your mama and your kids, because at the end of the day, me and you, leave and cleave, we have become one because our children can even interrupt our relationships. Our friends can, we have to be on one accord as a husband and a wife that nobody comes between us. I have a very good male best friend. Like we're really good friends. He has a girl. He has a new girlfriend. I haven't met her yet, But if she felt uncomfortable with me, like Kim said, I will always step back out of respect, not only for her as a woman, but out of respect for him, because this is a person that he wants to be, unless it was somebody he didn't want to be with. But from the conversations that we've had, we haven't gotten a chance to meet yet because COVID and everything, so we're trying to make that happen. But from the conversations that we've had, he loves her. He loves her. He really loves and likes this girl. Like he hasn't talked to me about any other woman since another situation he had, but he really puts this woman up on a pedestal. So I know that he wants to be with her. And if she had a problem with him and he came to me and said, you know, we got to fall back on the phone conversation. We don't really talk on the phone much, but we do text. He texts me every day, good morning, just like the core. He texts me every day, good morning. He sends me a scripture. We say we love each other in text. And if the wrong person read that, it could look a certain way. Like, what she mean she love you? But I tell my girls every day I love them when we hang up on the phone. When we text each other, we say we love each other. So he's one of my best friends. So I treat him the same way I treat my female girls. And I tell him I love you, have a good day, whatever it is. But if she felt uncomfortable with that, and this is the person that he was moving to a next level with, I will always fall back. And there are certain things that I would never do. I never will call him at an ungodly hour.
Right.
I don't share my personal problems with him because that's not my man. Like, you share your personal problems with him. He's not my therapist. He's not my man.
Right.
We have conversations that make sense. And sometimes as women, I have to say this. Sometimes as women, when we have a male friend before the woman came into the picture, we've been friends since we was in the 2nd grade, and we've been friends. That doesn't matter when another person comes into the dynamic. You lose that position, and as an adult, you have to have respect, because you have to say, if I was in her shoes, how would I feel?
Right.
Now, again, I would definitely, if his girl had a problem, I would like to have a conversation with her. But if she didn't want to have a conversation, I would be comfortable with that and falling back, because I know that when he gets married, I know he's definitely going to invite me to the wedding, but I wouldn't even come to the wedding if she was uncomfortable with me. I wouldn't even come. I would be like, no, dude, go do your thing. I'm always going to be here for you, but that's your wife. You're choosing to marry this woman, and I would never make you feel bad for not giving me an invitation to the wedding for a person who does not care for me. I don't even want to be there and make her day uncomfortable. Because we have men and women that'll be like, you're not going to invite me to your wedding because of her? Yeah, it's her wedding.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, I can't invite you to her wedding, to our wedding, because it's her wedding. So I would just, again, we have to be adults about things. But I would say to this woman, like Jade said, you have some real choices to make. Is your boo the man that you want to spend the rest of your life with? Because if he is, this is a no-brainer. You need to tell your boy, like, yo, dude, I need you to fall back, and I'll see you when I see you, like Kim said. I'll see you if you in town, and it's a group thing, and it's a class reunion, or whatever it is, whatever capacity where we met, and it's a bunch of us together. I'll see you when I see you, but we all have to know that as adults, there's a respect level for everybody, and we all have a choice to make it smooth. And if I don't have a relationship with my best male friend's soon-to-be fiance, based on the fact because I don't care for her for some reason, I'm overstepping my boundaries.
Right.
Like, that's none of my business that I don't care for her. If he loves her, that's them. So her best male friend not caring for her man, that's already a problem for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't care for my man. Like, you can't be my friend if you don't care for my man.
It has to be a legitimate reason.
Right. Well, you should have been dealt with that. Yeah. So let's get on with our Mother's Day special, because we're almost coming to our time. So our Mother's Day question I have is, what has been the hardest thing about being a mom for you guys? Just what is one of the hardest things? Oh no, the thing turned off. Let me put it back on while you talk. What has been the hardest thing?
I think the hardest thing for me is watching your kids struggle and you not being able to do anything about it.
Wow.
Sometimes you just can't.
Wow.
You're just not in a position to do it for them.
Wow.
that's the hardest thing for me.
Oh my goodness. I'm gonna have to turn this because it just disconnected. Sorry guys.
Well, the most challenging thing, oh, they're telling me to touch up here. Sorry, it's the frost off my glass.
There you go.
Okay. I think the most challenging for me is getting my child to see what his full potential is. You know, you see the talent, you see the gift, you see the potential. Is getting him to recognize and see what that full potential is. That's my hardest challenge at this time.
Wow.
Here.
Keisha.
I want to say my hardest challenge was letting them go.
Oh, yes, Lord.
Letting them go. If you know me, I love my
Right.
kids so much.
Jesus.
I know. We all love our kids.
I'm sorry.
And the norm is to let them grow up, let them go. But I wanted mine to stay. I want them to come back.
Don't make me cry.
It's true.
Yes, letting them go. I want them back.
I'm not at that I'm not at that stage yet.
That's the hardest thing for me. My son is 33,
Oh.
and he lives in Vegas. That's even worse. I can't even just go to see him when I want. And my daughter just got her own apartment last year, and she's gone now. But at least she's in Jersey, and I could just sneak up on her. And when she talks about, oh, I may want to move to Texas, she doesn't know it, but I die inside. For me, that's the hardest. I'm still struggling with it. But I know it's normal. And I'm proud of them that they are out there and they're on their own. But I want them back.
Oh my God, Keisha, that's the hardest thing. I don't even want to get teared up because letting go. I was gonna
go this
say that to let them go. Mine is knowing that I'm gonna die,
Oh my goodness, Lord.
and everybody lives to die. You're gonna die,
Oh my
and
God.
Yeah, but that,
and leave them with me not being here, because when my dad passed, and he didn't want to go. He wasn't ready to go. And that hurt me. It hurts me right now. I had a conversation with my daughter. I had to sit her down and tell her what I wanted to be done when I did go.
Oh Lord.
And it hurt. We cried. But I had to tell her because not now. I'm not sick. I'm healthy. I'm fine. But I will go. And a lot of people don't want to have these conversations with their children, and they should. It's selfish to make them wait until it's all the way at the end, and then you go and they're like... So it doesn't matter that they're an adult. You need to have a conversation with your child saying, Mommy or Daddy, we're going to go. And when we go, this is what I need you to do. Because the more you prepare your child for that end, the easier it gets for them, because they have to live through this thing. And so I want to say, knowing that I'm not going to be here, and because I want to be with them. I love my children so much, but I'm not going to be. And so that's hard, knowing that I won't be. But I did have the conversation, so everyone should have that conversation. Get you some life insurance.
Oh yes, for real.
Don't have them going and having fish fries
And GoFundMe.
and GoFundMe's
For real.
trying to bury you
For real.
when you
When
have
they grieving.
when you and they don't know what to do, because nobody ever said anything to them about what to do, or they're finding out in the moment. Don't do that. That's selfish. Sit your children down and tell them what you want done, how you want it done. Put it in writing if you have to. Videotape yourself. You videotape yourselves, twerking, videotape yourself, saying what it is that you want to do when you pass, and prep your kids for that moment.
Wow.
So you're not being selfish to them, because life is life, but death is imminent. It's going to happen.
Wow.
So that's how I feel.
I have to turn this manually because my little contraption has stopped working. They have really just struck a nerve for me because this is a hard Mother's Day for me because of two reasons. The hardest thing really about motherhood is at some point they grow up and you lose control. Like you can't. He eating lotion.
Oh my
Gibby,
goodness.
go put the lotion up. I'm sorry, y'all. Please, Lord. No, you eating lotion. I'm sorry.
I hope
Okay.
it was my shea butter.
Please get whatever it is. Somebody get it. The hardest thing about
It is,
motherhood
I smell
is
it.
you have to let your children go on their own, and sometimes your children will not speak to you. It's okay. You're okay.
It's shea butter.
Oh Lord, you're
I can
okay.
smell it.
And sometimes you have to let your children go, and your children make decisions. I'm sorry, guys. If you don't know, most of you know me, so you all know that I have Jermaine, who is my child, who's on the autism spectrum, and we are in here taping the show, and he's in my best friend's room eating my other friend's lotion.
Oh my, please don't let it be.
and
Please
and he
don't
thinks
let
it's
it
funny. But we have to put up lotion. So again, this is a good moment for me right now because we needed a lighter moment. It's the Jergens. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
All right.
So
good.
there's two things going on in my life with my children. One of them has moved out on his own, and I wasn't expecting that. And two, my other son has decided to go no contact with me, which means I know a lot of parents who I'm dealing with, who I'm coaching, who I'm working with, are dealing with adult children who have decided that they don't want to speak to their parents anymore, which is totally the most heartbreaking thing to lose a child, not by death, but by decision of their own. After you've raised them, loved them, they've come into their own and they've got this perception in their mind. And we can't tell children how to think when they become adults or what the experience was with us when we only did our best. So I think the hardest part about motherhood is the fact that at a certain age, we don't have a level of control and protection for them, because really being a mother is having a part of you walking around unprotected. And after a certain age, we can protect them up to like 12 years old, basically. And then they start to go out into the real world and they start to face real dangers. And we don't have the opportunity to cover and protect them the way that we want to. And then when they get into adulthood, like Keisha said, her son is in Vegas. Nobody expects their child, and Kim's son is in West, in the West, on the West Coast. It's like nobody wants their child to be so far away that if there's an emergency, we can't get right to them without jumping on a plane for 5 or 6 hours. We want to get there in 30 minutes tops on a plane. So the hardest part really is that at a certain time, they're going to go and do their own thing, and they are no longer under our protection, so to speak. But they are still under God's covering. So if you have a personal relationship with God, that is some sort of comfort. But still, as a human breathing mother, the worrying never stops. So motherhood is the hoodiest of the hoods.
Okay.
Of the hood. Ain't no hood like
Gang,
motherhood. Ain't no hood like mother. I don't care
That's
about
right.
Newark. I don't care about Chicago.
Make that a t-shirt.
I don't care about Louisiana. Ain't no hood like motherhood. I promise you, motherhood is the hood.
Yes.
The hood is worse than gangbangers. So
Yes.
our next question is, we have all of these children, a lot of children now beating up teachers. We have a lot of children beating up teachers and doing other things, not only beating up teachers, but being disrespectful to adults. Do we think that that is the responsibility of the parent, that these children are out here beating up? A lot of times, I'm speaking from just experience of my own children, of how we raised them. Like, we know how we raised our kids, so we don't expect certain things from them. So when we see these kids on TV, on the news, beating up teachers and fighting with police officers, is that a direct problem in parenthood?
It's a factor.
I think it's a factor, but I also think, especially in this day and age, that kids are very easily influenced
Oh,
by social media,
oh,
by the regular media,
wow,
peer pressure,
wow.
and this generation, they want instant gratification. They want what they want and they want it now. And when they don't get it, they act out.
Right.
You know, they have a lot of information and a lot of different things coming at them all at once, all the time. So they don't know where to go, what to do, what to listen to, what not to listen to, what's right, what's wrong. They're trying to listen to their parents. They listen to their parents when they're in the house, but you know, all of us didn't always listen to what our parents told us to do all the time. We got out the house and thought, okay, I'm not around my parents anymore. I can do what I want. These kids are dealing with that. But to go to the extent of beating up your teacher, I think that's just beyond disrespectful.
Right.
I don't even know what to call that. That's beyond disrespectful. I never allowed my kids to be disrespectful to any adult.
So do you think the parents should be held accountable for the behavior in the school?
Absolutely.
And what does that look like?
Absolutely. They need to come to the school. That child needs to be suspended until the parent has to come to that school. And you know what? That means the parent now, if the parents are working, they have to make arrangements with their job. Make it inconvenient for them.
Oh, make it
So
inconvenient.
that way they will come down harder on these kids.
Right.
You have too many parents who say, well, this teacher did this and this teacher did that. And they take the side of the kid, even though that child is wrong.
Right.
They don't hold their children accountable. So the kids become empowered to believe that I don't have to listen because my mother and my father, they're going to have my back regardless. And that's not cool.
Right. Because these are the very people who we're gonna have to deal with in society.
Right.
We had
in a couple of years, they're going to be
Yeah.
adults. They're going to be voting. They're going to be running things. They're going to be in the workplace behaving this way.
Right, because the teacher took the young lady's phone and she maced him. She maced him. That is not the way you resolve conflict. So
No.
when somebody takes something from you in the workplace, or when somebody takes something from you anywhere, you're going to mace them.
Where did this child even get maced from?
And why is it in school? But Tonka, do you think
Right.
it's the parents' responsibility? That's
I agree with Kim. I think it's a factor in the whole situation. I do also think that this generation has a sense of entitlement
yeah.
too.
Ooh, wait,
You gotta say that.
I really do, but I do believe it does start at home. But on the other hand, a lot of them come from broken homes.
Right.
So what do they know? They feel that they're empowered by doing what they do and making their own decisions. I mean, it's just it's a lot of factors to consider. It's a lot of perspectives. But in this incident, particularly with the girl that had the mace. Again, why do you have mace in your pocket? Why are you going to mace the teacher? And you can't totally blame the teacher. So I don't know how it played out, but okay, if the teacher responded as in defense of herself, so
Him, the
then,
man.
oh, okay, in defense of himself, so then you're going to have, that's where you have social media, that's where you have the kids in the classroom with their phones out, recording everything. You're only getting one perspective. So of course, most of the kids are going to stick together. Of course, you're going to have social media and, like Kim said, the media that's going to embellish on the whole thing just to get the viewer's choice. And a lot of these kids don't know that. They just want a fan club. Oh, yeah, she was right. You know, let me see how many likes. Let me see how many views. So I do agree. It's a lot of factors that contribute to it. But I strongly feel that this generation has a strong sense of entitlement.
Yes.
They don't even know
Yes.
the half. So
Yes.
again, that's my 3 cents.
KEC.
IA.
I think I agree with what Kim and Tonka said, but when we were growing up, I would never think to do that. Plus, I would be scared of the beating I would get when I got home because the school called and told my parents what I did.
Yes.
So, and I don't like to put all the blame on parents because there are some good parents whose kids are making bad choices
Yes.
and making them look bad. I mean, each case is different, but it's getting out of hand. It's scary.
Yes.
It's scary.
I will be a teacher.
I know, yeah, I fear for the teachers and I give them many props for taking it. But I know if somebody called and said my son or daughter did that, I probably would, DIFUS would be involved.
Yes. Right. Yes.
It would be up at the school.
Yes, and the other thing is, these kids think they can get away with it because they're kids.
Right.
And blame the adult. Oh, you can't hit me. I'm calling. Things just need to change.
Right.
Things need to change.
And the
It's
consequences
scary.
need
Right.
to-
The consequences. These parents need to get a grip. I know I said that word wrong. I'm trying not to lose it right now. And it was only one drink.
That was it. Just one. The consequences.
Friends sometimes are bad.
Don't blame it on us. Blame it on the alcohol.
Consequences. I said it right.
Yes. So we're gonna ask Jade, do you think that it's a parent problem or a child problem?
This is such a loaded question because the world is so upside down right now. It's crazy. And it seems like a lifetime ago, but it was just yesterday that there were so many rules in place for us. Like Keisha said, you wouldn't have the nerve to even talk back to a teacher because you was afraid. You didn't even want to go to the principal's office. Like once you was asked to leave the classroom, it's like, oh my God, what did I do? I'm gonna be in trouble. Like that's gone.
They have no fear.
It's gone. So I don't know and then there's the catch-22 because these teachers act like they're friends with these students.
Right.
So the lines are blurred because of the friendships. We're friends, but now you want to be my teacher, and now you want to tell me what to do. When yesterday we was just playing and laughing and joking, and we was making a TikTok together. So the lines are crossed and they're blurred, and we need to set boundaries, which we talked about all night. We need to set boundaries. We need to follow protocols, and at home, we have to be parents. Our parents, these new parents, not me, and not us, but these new parents, the TV is the parent.
Yes.
The phone is the parent. These parents are scared. Oh, I don't want to take my son phone. He going to be mad.
These kids are addicted to
And
their
my kids
phones.
used to come in the house and put their phone where I said to put it because I paid that bill. That's my phone. I just let you use it. So it's all over the place today. And if we don't wrangle our children and make them and understand the roles that everybody has a role to play. I'm mommy. You're the child. That's the teacher. And put these boundaries in place because once we put the boundaries in place, then we can hold whoever else is not doing what they're supposed to do accountable.
Yes.
But everybody's all over the place. And now we got to sort these things out. And it's a mess.
It is. It is.
Nobody would have never called me to tell me that my son did or my daughter did any such a thing because they wouldn't have never did it. And my daughter or my son would have never called me and said, Mommy, the teacher did or said.
Right.
Everybody in trouble. So,
Everybody.
it's just all over the place. And we as a country need to set rules and boundaries.
Country.
We are so disrespectful. It's just craziness.
Country.
So it's hard to do it when it's like this. Let the chips fall where they may.
Right.
It's just like that.
It is. Yeah.
So you're gonna see more people getting maced.
Yes.
These kids are gonna be bumping into and telling you in their way.
Yep.
You understand what I'm saying? There's no respect, it's gone. So we need to be talking about how we gonna get it back. That's the conversation we need to be having.
Yes.
Just like the situation where the 6th grader shot his teacher.
Right.
I'm like, well, how did he get the gun out the house?
And into the school.
And
You know how? Let me tell you how. Because he do what he want to do in his house. His mom and them ain't saying nothing to him. His door is closed and they don't want to go in that door because the door is closed and that's his room. And that's how. Because I used to go in my kids' room when I felt like it.
Me too,
If
yeah.
I thought something was wrong, I searched it. If I
Me
think they
too.
shouldn't have it, I took it.
Yep.
They didn't tell me what to do, and the thing like, get out. Because that's my house. That's how these kids are ordering stuff. And the parent will put the package in their room. And not say, what's this?
Right.
Oh, I don't want to, because I don't want his privacy. You don't have no privacy if you live in my house.
That's it.
That's my house.
That's
And
it.
you're going to do what I say.
bills.
You're going to do it the way I say. If you don't like it, call diapers and let them take you. But they ain't going to take you, so I'm going to have something to say to them too. It's my world. These parents are not making it their world. They want, I don't want to yell at him because he might get upset. Well, don't let your kid come to my house because they're going to be upset they do something wrong because I'm going to yell. That's my house.
Let me
So that's what's wrong.
And there's another thing that's wrong too. These kids are so addicted to these phones. Like this is a real addiction. Like these kids are.
True.
A lot of the things that we're seeing in school with the teachers being attacked is based on devices being taken away. These kids are addicted like a crackhead on crack. You're taking away my drug and I will kill you for it.
Yes.
These parents are at home, they're afraid of the kids because the kids are brutalizing parents. There are kids on the news that have killed their grandmother, that have killed their mother for taking away their phone or turning off the internet. These kids are addicted to these phones, and we have to, a friend of mine, Netta, she said, we have multi-level failure, multi-level failure from the top up, like Jay said, the country. This starts from high up in politics of them taking away our right to punish our children, them taking away our right to tell our children about God in school, them taking away our right for our kids to be able to come to school and tell a counselor that we abuse them, or for our kid. So now you want me to bring the kids back into control when you took away my power to parent. I can't parent them if you're going to come and arrest me for punishing them. Back in the day, my mother would be like, I wish you would come in this. Yeah, I did beat her. What you gonna do? She got beaten because she came to school and she was doing stuff she ain't had no business doing in school in your class. Now they have taken away our power, so it's like multi-level failure.
Now that she called you, when you leave, I'm about to beat her again.
Right.
Because she should have left it in the house.
Right. And it's just multi-level failure, and it's so scary for everybody involved. I was looking at a video on, I don't remember what state it was in, but the kids were in the street and they were a mob of kids that were attacking cars. Like they were jumping on top of people's cars, like jumping on the cars, kicking the car, and the people in the cars. I'm like, sorry, but I would have ran them kids over, but that's just me.
You know what? I know we're running out of time, but there was this child, this was many years back, and I don't know if y'all remember this. These parents went to Hong Kong or China. They went to Hong Kong somewhere, and their son vandalized a car. They arrested that child.
Yes.
They arrested that child. I don't know if y'all remember this. They arrested that child. And the parents was trying to get this child out of jail, and they were like, no, we're going to punish him, and then you could take him. The parents reached out to the United States and said, help. So the United States did reach out to the country and say, hey, could you release the child? They was like, we're going to punish him. Right. They took a sugar cane and they beat his ass, and then they gave him back to his parents. And you know what they told his parents? We don't do that here.
Right.
We don't do that here. So it wasn't nothing this country could do. That boy went home with a whooped ass, and they gave him back to his parents and said, and if you come back and he do it again, it's going to be worse.
Yes.
That's what we need.
That's what we need.
If we not doing that, we gonna get to vandalizing.
You already have it.
Right.
We gonna get that.
Vandalize is still in the
I
cars.
was looking at
The school shootings.
I was looking at a
We're
video
gonna get that.
too from
There's
Japan.
no discipline.
I was looking at a video from Japan where it was little kids that were out on their own. I think they had on like yellow shirts, right? And it was a family that was in Japan, and they were wondering why they were seeing these little kids, right? And the man said he saw a little kid on the train, and a woman was reading with the kid. So he thought that the child was with the woman, but the child got off the train on her own. And they said he asked somebody in a country, like, what is going on? They said, we take care of our children. Do you know the kids in Japan go around by themselves and nothing happens to them? Like they go around by themselves, like they travel, like little 6-year-olds and 7-year-olds. They're on transportation. They go from the person on the train says, here's your stop. And there's no crime. Because if you spit on the ground in Japan, again, consequences, like Keisha said, consequences is what's missing out of this country. And we as a country, the multi-level failure is what's failing our children. And it's a scary time for us because everything is so out of control in the United States of America. This is not all over the world. This is not in other countries. They're looking at us like y'all are crazy. This is not happening in Japan. This is not happening in Germany. This is not happening in Russia. This is happening here because they have taken away our power to parent. And everything starts in the home. So all of our children right now, the young children that are coming up, are being raised by young wild mothers. And I hate to say this, by young wild mothers who have no boundaries, who have no restrictions, who their hope is to be a reality star. So this is only going to get worse before it gets better if we don't step up as a generation. Like the New U Nation Network is for Generation X and the content is for Generation X. And we're not about to be on here twerking half naked, doing stuff we ain't got no business doing, because we're trying to change the narrative of what's going on. And it's okay to have fun. It really is. It's okay to have a ladies' night in. It's okay to do fun things, and it's okay to have, good things going on. But there's a limit to what's going on now. These filthy streaming platforms, if you turn on any streaming platform, you just don't even know what you're going to get because we're a country of filth right now. And the only way for it to turn around is for us to do things like we're doing right now, to have these hard conversations and to take accountability for what is going on in the country, even though we're not blaming parents. Because you could be the best parent in the world and your child can end up being a drug addict, whatever, a criminal, and you could have been a preacher's kid. I just had this conversation on Bible study last night. It could be a preacher's kid. But as we are collectively as a whole, like Gibi said, like Kim said about the media, like we really have to be the force against it and stop going with the flow. So I'm gonna let everybody do their final word right now. So I'm gonna turn the camera this way and go to Kim. What is your final word for the night?
My final word is to enjoy your Mother's Day.
Yes. Oh, I'm sorry.
To
Enjoy.
appreciate being a mom. And a mom doesn't just mean someone who has birthed a child.
Come on now.
You can have an adopted child, you can have a stepchild, you can be an aunt or a friend raising someone else's child. So I just want to say happy Mother's Day to everyone who is being a positive influence on anyone's child, because all of us can be mothers at any time.
Thank you. That was so good. Okay, Tonka.
That was so sweet, Kim. How do I follow that? Happy Mother's Day. Blessed Mother's Day to everyone. And be kind. Show kindness. There's not enough of that in this world.
That's the truth.
Have a good night.
KECIA.
I just want to say, be kind to your mothers. Here's my mom.
Oh.
I have her ashes in here.
Oh.
Happy Mother's Day, and to my kids, come back home.
Good night, everyone. It was a pleasure always sitting here with these ladies, these moms that I share my life with. Happy Mother's Day to everyone out there. Be kind to your moms. Make sure you call your moms. And children, call your moms. My children called me already, but call me again tomorrow. And
Call me again tomorrow.
and love each other. If we had love, a deep love for each other, then we wouldn't see a lot of the foolishness that we see. So just love each other.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I also want to say happy Mother's Day to all the moms, the aunties, the godmamas, the mothers, the women who step in when mothers are not available, the role models. And I also just want to say to the mothers who are suffering from the loss of a child, I pray for you right now. I know Mother's Day is a great time, but it's not a great time for everyone. I pray for mothers who are suffering from the loss of a child who's alive that has decided to go no contact. That's a thing right now. I pray for you as I pray for myself, and I promise you that it will get better. I pray for those who have desired to be a mother but have not been able to be a biological mother. You are still a mother in our heart. And I pray for all the motherless daughters and the motherless sons. And I pray that Mother's Day doesn't make you depressed, but it helps you to celebrate and just honor your mother and honor your father. Honor your mother and father, and your days shall be long. The Bible says it. So thank you so much for tuning in to Ladies Night In. We will be back next month with another show. If you have any questions, if you would like for us to read your question, just inbox me, Trey@TreyKearney.com or info@TreyKearney.com, and I will be more than happy to share with the ladies your questions. Like our question for the night from one of our viewers, we discussed that so that we can help you out. So if you would like us to discuss your question, just send it in. And again, we're going to sing. This is a special day. Not only is it Mother's Day, but it's the birthday of two of our ladies. It is Tonka and Keisha's birthday month. So we are going to sing happy birthday to the ladies. Can you put it between them? Nope.
You know exactly what it is. Don't ask no questions,
Is it on there?
viewers. Don't ask no questions, viewers.
It's exactly what you think it
You
is.
know what it is.
Can y'all move your chairs together so we can put the cake between y'all and have the camera?
Let me light these up.
And my favorite color is pink.
And mine is green.
Yes.
Taurus season.
Yes. Don't want to light. Oh. It's the birthday, ladies. Come on, light it up. All right, ready?
Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday.
Break it down.
Happy birthday.
What you keen to say?
Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Oh yeah.
Thank you.
Happy
Birthday. Hey.
Why am I fanning it on enough? Blow it out.
Thank you. We don't want to blow the cake. Good night.
Good night.
Good night, everybody. We will see you next month. Please be sure to subscribe to the New You Nation Network YouTube channel. Make sure you share. Make sure you comment and ask us questions. We love you. Good night. Have a blessed night. Remember what we tell you at the end of the broadcast. You deserve the best. Yes, I'm talking to you. You deserve the best. Now go get it. Peace and blessings. We will see you guys next month for Ladies Night In. Peace.
Peace.